So it seems like I'm going to keep on saying it is a funny quote to say. Well, but when there is news, there is news. This is coming out for World Spriggan. If you don't know, for September, World Spriggan is B-172. It is a balance type releasing in September 19th, 2020 for the price of about 1507 yen. I've already done the conversion. I think it's like almost 19 Canadian and like just under 15 American off the top of my head. Obviously that's not counting shipping or whatnot, but yeah, they just released this for World Spriggan. Basically they always do this where they'll have kind of like a little summary of each of the parts and everything, and we already kind of basically know how it works. I'm only covering some things that I missed out on, like how there actually is a burst stopper gimmick on the Spriggan. It's a very weird way. It kind of reminds me of how sort of Tempest works in a way, but it is interesting to say the least. We're going to go part by part. I also have pictures of the individual parts. Please, if you are interested, leave a like, leave a comment. If you are new, subscribe to the channel and click that bell to be notified for uploads. You will hear me taking little snapshots. That is for the Google Translate, just in case there's any additional info that this says that I'm not mentioning. So of course we see the sparking chip and we see the sparking ring. So this is called World Spriggan, a very grand name for the new Spriggan. As far as the chip is concerned, I'm pretty sure it's just standard, other than the fact that there's literally metal on it. Spriggan motif, yeah, you can attach it to the left or right. So we got our new ring, which is World. So World has this whole flippable gimmick. So yeah, there's like a burst lock on this, so it's hard to so I'm gonna get the image right here of the thing. So this actually perfectly shows it. Do you see the little, okay, you see where it says R, right? And you see how there's those little small red tabs on the side? From what I understood, and from what I was able to see, how these little tabs work is that there's like a counter blade, and apparently it's when you hit it with enough strength, that counter blade activates and it acts as like a burst stopper for the chassis. So as the chassis is moving, once that counter blade is hit, obviously it has to be like a good hit, it'll then after activate as a burst stopper. So to me, this is very, very, very good. Despite the lack of rubber on this Spriggan, it seems, and it's making up for it in every other way. Simply having a stopper there is wonders. For an example, Lord Spriggan was very annoyingly done by TT, where it did have stoppers on it, and that's what made Lord so amazing, but they easily wore down. In this case, I don't think it's going to wear down. The whole idea is you hit the blade and stoppers activate, which is very funny. It's kind of like the opposite, where at the start of the match with the Chosen Awakening, you would launch it, the stoppers would just be out. But it seems similar through Tempest, through battle, it sort of activates, from what I'm able to understand. Moving back to this stuff, it's nothing too crazy. One side it just looks like Legend Spriggan, and the other side looks like Requiem. Oh, it also mentions that it will not burst even if there's stronger impact. I'm pretty sure that might be just a little translation thing on the Google thing, but I'm pretty sure it would make sense. If that stopper thing activates, there's no way you're bursting the Spriggan. Although that makes me wonder, why would they mention that? Why in particular? Could it be maybe with the combination, maybe 2B doesn't have that crazy of a lock on it? Or maybe if 2B has like a similar lock to like 1B, yeah, then 2B will be fine. But I wonder if 2B maybe has a bad lock on purpose, maybe for that reason, or if 2B's fine. I'm very interested. Moving on, speaking of 2B, there is 2B right there. So obviously 2B is just 2 balance, and on the bottom there it is Unite Dash. You know, Unite Dash is not a new driver by any means. We already know. We already knew that Spriggan in one way or another was going to get Unite Dash. So just going over the translation for 2B, is there anything in particular? So a rotating double chassis, double balance, switches between a fixed blade attack mode and a free rotating blade defense mode, depending on the ring. So I'm still a little bit confused on this part, but there should be an attack and a defense mode, and I think depending on what ring, it can be free spinning or it can't be. I believe. It kind of reminds me of the ratchet disc. Now, I'm not 100% on this, but there should be some sort of free spinning with it. Actually, I have a screenshot right there. Hold on. There you go. A fixed blade attack mode and a free rotating blade defense mode by ring. Attack value... ability value is attack mode. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's talking about the stats. The stats don't matter for anything. I keep on saying that. Don't pay attention to the stats on the site. They literally mean nothing. It's like on, for an example, for like a Slingshot or like Hypersphere, whenever they have the stats, it means nothing. They just put the stats there because they have to put the stats there. Yeah, going over the World Ring. Yeah, it's broken into the Burst Lock, and that will not burst when it receives stronger impact, like I said. Yeah, Giant Spriggan. This is the chip of the Spriggan. Just a better look at it. It does look very nice. I think it is a big glow up from looking at the Lord Ring. It looks very nice. Now, the biggest thing with this new Spriggan, and I'm going to go to this part here, it's supposed to be its sort of sparking ability. I believe the whole idea is it's supposed to have like 4 modes. Let me just get this. So I need to actually just see what this is talking about. So it's the whole like sparking ability, I believe. So what do they call it? It's like the sparking action, but I'm just wondering right now. So I guess it's just the idea of all the parts together. So it has, okay, so it has like the mode changes and everything. Is there anything special with the, I don't think there's anything crazy with the ability that's mentioned. They can switch to both rotations, making an aggressive and enduring movement. Yeah, okay, so I'm pretty sure the idea with the whole thing is that you can do 4 different modes. One where the chassis is one way, the other way where you flip it. So left and right, and in total you would have 4 different combinations. I mean, you could also do like something where if you had like the Dimension Trap, you have even more possible combinations. It's sort of like, I would say, what's the best term to describe it? Like fluff? Just like talking about it, whatever, just adding extra stuff just to fill it out. So overall, now that we know a wee bit more about this, so this is what the right side looks like, this is what the left side looks like. It's more interesting, the left side is what looks like Legend Spriggan. That's very interesting to me. I think overall, this new Spriggan will definitely be interesting. So in the comments, I want you to tell me, now that we get even more context to this bay, what are your thoughts on this new Spriggan? What are your thoughts on the abilities of the new Spriggan, and how good you think the new Spriggan will be? Personally, I'm leaning to, now it does sound very promising with all these abilities. A burst lock, it's like it's counterblade, whatever. 2B having this like sort of like different change and everything. It sounds promising. It sounds very, very promising. I'm just double checking. Yeah, there's nothing else for info for right now, but we should eventually get Achilles info soon. I say that because the anime, I don't think it's this week. I think it's the week after Aiga is supposed to show off the Achilles, I'm pretty sure. So eventually we're going to get info on the Achilles, and then after eventually on the random booster. Stay tuned for that as well. There will be some changes to certain type of videos that I used to do. Just a different format. You'll know what it is when you know what it is. I have to find a way how I can actually put it out a little bit differently. But don't worry, it's nothing to do with the battles or the reviews or anything like that. It is related to sparking. It's related to sparking. But yeah, that is where we're ending off this video. I want to say thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe, and have an awesome, amazing day.